is because I learned to depend on God's strength and not my own. I've seen it way too many times. Folks get excited. Pastor, I'm going to start helping out in ministry. Great, that's wonderful. Let's get you started. Let's get you plugged in. And they come and they do the best job they can. They last about 2.5 weeks. Because remember, people are crazy.
Yes.
And don't laugh because you're one of the crazy people. And if you aren't hooked up, tied up, and tangled up in the ongoing grace-giving ministry of Jesus Christ, so that when you stand, it's not because you are having a good day. It's because God stands up strong in you, and you're here because of your commitment to Him, and because of what He's given you. You can stand and be strong whether they smile or whether they give you attitude, whether you feel like it or whether you don't feel like it, whether you prayed before you got out the car or you didn't pray, because you're being strong based upon what God continues to give you by His grace. And if you're going to grow in your service, you've got to learn to depend on God's strength. I know you got a degree. I know you smart and educated. I know you got more degrees than a thermometer. But you need God's strength.
That's right.
To be able to handle what doesn't come from you naturally.
Yes.
Paul says, Timothy, you're going to grow if you will let God help you continue to be strong by His grace. Quit trying to show up and do it out of your own strength and learn to depend on God's strength. Watch this. But look what else he says in verse 3. He says, you therefore must endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. Watch this. The word for endure suffering, or your Bible might say endure hardness or endure hardship, whatever your Bible might say. It's a very interesting term. It's a military term. It's a word in Greek that's about this long. It's a big compound word. It's the idea or the preposition of with, the descriptive adjective of evil connected to the word for passion or energy. Sun kakapethason. Right. The idea is that it is to endure affliction or suffering or hardship that comes your way with somebody else. Okay, you don't know. Anybody ever seen the movie Gladiator? All right, remember the opening battle scene where the enemy is coming down the hillside and they shoot arrows and they throw spears, and the Roman soldiers put their shields up, and then guys put their shields up over their heads. In the Roman army, the shields were made almost concave, or convex. But on the left side of the shield, they made it with a small lip that would hook into the convex shape of the shield next to it. So that as the enemy charged, they could hook their shields in with each other to help form a solid wall. And just in case the enemy was throwing something that could come over the wall, the soldiers who were in the second and third ranks would hold their shields up to help form a roof over the head of the entire unit. The idea is that as the enemy is coming, the command that would be given to make the wall would be sun kakapethason. It's a military order. The idea is the enemy is coming. We're going to withstand his attack, but we got to do it together. Because if I hook my shield into yours and the enemy's coming, and you decide, oh, it's hot in here, I'm done. If you decide, oh, they keep it cold in the church, I'm done. If you decide it's too dangerous, you now have exposed the entire unit because you didn't take part, and you didn't take part of the attack with the person that you're next to.
Wow.
Paul says to Timothy, This is not the time to punk out. If you're going to serve in ministry, I'm taking hits. You got to take them too. You hook up your shield with me, and together we will form the wall, and we will do this together. And it might be hard, but endure the hardness with me. If you do your job, I'm going to do my job. The enemy ain't going to get at you because I got him on this side. Now I need you to get my back. And if you stay strong, I know the enemy's not going to get me because we're going to do this together. When the enemy came, the officer would say, and everybody would be in it together. Watch this, watch this. Paul says, endure suffering along with me. Watch this. I grow when I serve in ministry, not only when I learn to depend on God's strength, but also when I learn to depend on other saints. Now, I know this is going to be hard for somebody, because through the situations in your life, something has told you not to trust people. You don't trust nobody. I don't know them like that. You don't trust people. Which is why God put you in the body of Christ. So that there would be times when you would have to depend on somebody else to do their part. And even if they didn't, you could still depend on God.
Amen.
Paul says, if we're going to grow in ministry, we're going to do it together. You have to be willing to do your part. So don't call in Sunday morning at 9. Well, I ain't going to make it today to help out in the parking lot. You just left somebody open to the attack of the enemy. We need to do this together. You've got to do your part. I'm going to do my part. Everybody put their shield up. Everybody put their own in on it. Stand strong. Dig in. Do what you got to do, because we're in this together. I know you think I'm making these stories up, but I did play a little bit of high school football. I know. Don't laugh. It ain't funny. We had a he's in heaven now. We had a defensive coordinator by the name of Coach Rhodes. Now, Coach Rhodes was about my height, but when he was younger, he was one of them country strong kind of people, right? And one of his favorite terms would be if somebody wasn't doing their job, he'd say, "I'm gonna kick you right off this planet." And we used to didn't believe him till one day we had a guy nicknamed Bo. Bo was about 6'4", about 260. One time he was lazing around in practice. Coach Rhodes picked him up and threw him. From that point on, everybody respected whatever Coach Rhodes said. Whatever Coach Rhodes said. Because if he said he could kick you off this planet, he might just be able to do it. And so one time we're in this game, and we had been pushed down to our own 2-yard line. The game was on the line. We were up by 3. It was going to depend on the defense to make a stand. And so as they were there on the 2-yard line, they called a timeout to get their plays together. Coach Rhodes called the entire defense over to the sideline. And he got in the middle of all of us, and he said, "I need y'all to dig in. I need everybody to dig in." And you know, he's spitting on everybody. Everybody backing up as the spit comes. And he told us, he said, "They're going to come at you with everything. But you've got to depend on the guy next to you to do his job, and you do your job, and everybody dig in." First down play came, they ran up through the middle, everybody squeezed into the side, and we held them. And you can hear Coach Rhodes on the sideline, "Dig in! Dig in! Dig in!" I looked at the dude, the free safety who was next to me. I said, "We better hold these guys. He's going to kill all of us." Second down play, they decided they were going to do a sweep to my side. I saw it coming. I ran up, took the first guy out. We stopped him right there on the 2-yard line. You can hear Coach Rhodes, "Dig in! Dig in! Dig in!" So third down came, they're going to run another play up the middle. Everybody collapsed. We held them on the 1-yard line. It was fourth down now. We knew all we had to do was hold them one more play. If they were going to kick a field goal, it might be tied, but they might just try to go for the win. We heard Coach Rhodes on the sideline, "Dig in! Dig in! Everybody do their job!" And then he added some words I can't say in church. And about that time, the nose tackle, you know, we all tired. He looked back, he said, I'm going to do my part, because Coach Rose ain't getting me. At that point, we knew all we had to do, one more everybody had to withstand together. And if everybody did their job, the enemy wouldn't be able to score. Paul says, get involved in ministry in such a way that you have to depend on the person next to you to do their job. As you have to depend on each other, it helps both of you grow. He says to Timothy, stand strong, depend on other saints. Watch this. Look what he says in verse 4, 5, and